Today is Friday, June 12th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are on Chapter 10, To Employers. We will be reading page 147. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Tradition number 8. We'll read page 170. I believe we're getting close to finishing that today. And of course, read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this morning, my friends. It is Friday. We made it. Life is good over here. I know. I have yet another coffee cup. My wife and I actually had to make room for all of the coffee cups and get rid of some old glasses and things just to make more room for coffee cups. So my wife was kind enough to surprise me with a Father's Day gift here. It's a classic Marvel superheroes cup. And on one side, it's got all the classic heroes like Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man. And then on the other side, it's got some of the classic villains like, although it's kind of weird. Wolverine's on this side. He's a good guy, usually. Weapon X. But you've got Doc Ock, you've got Green Goblin, and Thanos and some others. Oh, it's great. And coffee tastes so much better out of this mug. But anyways, my friends, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends, so out of the Big Book, we're on Chapter 10, To Employers. We are reading page 147 today, and just a few more pages to go in this one, and then we're on the last chapter of the book. It's hard to believe. And this was talking about an employee who does relapse even when they're in recovery. So here we go, top of the page. In case he does stumble, even once, you'll have to decide whether to let him go. If you're sure he doesn't mean business, there's no doubt that you should discharge him. If, on the contrary, that you're sure that he's doing his utmost, you may wish to give him another chance. But you should feel under no obligation to keep him on, for your obligation has been well discharged already. There's another thing you might wish to do. If your organization is a large one, your junior executives might be provided with this book. You might let them know that you have no quarrel with the alcoholics of your organization. These juniors are often in a difficult position. Men under them are frequently their friends. So, for one reason or another, they cover these men, hoping matters will take a turn for the better. They often jeopardize their own positions by trying to help serious drinkers who should have been fired long ago, or else given an opportunity to get well. After reading this book, a junior executive can go to such a man and say approximately this: "Look here, Ed. Do you want to stop drinking or not? You put me on the spot every time you get drunk. It isn't fair to me or the firm. I've been learning something about alcoholism. If you are an alcoholic, you're a mighty sick man. You act like one. The firm wants to help you get over it, and if you're interested, there is a way out. If you take it, your past will be forgotten, and the fact that you went away for treatment will not be mentioned. But if you cannot or will not stop drinking, I think you ought to resign." At the 12 and 12 are on Tradition 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. We are on page 170 today, but real quick, there was a question asked yesterday. There are only a few jobs which AA members as individuals have been asked to fill. Now and then, AA members have bought farms or rest homes where badly beat up topers could find needed care. The question was, and sometimes still is, are such activities to be branded as professionalism under AA tradition? So today we're getting that answer. We will go ahead and finish the page, and I again spoke out of turn. We will finish this chapter tomorrow. We think that the answer is no. Members who select such full-time careers do not professionalize AA's 12th step. The road to this conclusion was long and rocky. At first, we couldn't see the real issue involved. In former days, the moment an AA hired out to such enterprises, he was immediately tempted to use the name Alcoholics Anonymous for publicity or money-raising purposes. Drunk farms, educational ventures, state legislatures, and commissions advertised the fact that AA members served them. Unthinkingly, AAs so employed recklessly broke anonymity to thump the tub for their pet enterprise. For this reason, some very good causes and all connected with them suffered unjust criticism from AA groups. More often than not, these onslaughts were spearheaded by the cry, "Professionalism! That guy's making money out of AA!" Yet not a single one of them had been hired to do AA's 12-step work. The violation in these instances was not professionalism at all. It was breaking anonymity. AA's sole purpose was being compromised, and the name of Alcoholics Anonymous was being misused. "24 hours a day, June 12th. AA thought for the day. When we came into AA, we made a tremendous discovery. We found that we were sick persons rather than moral lepers. We were not such odd ducks as we thought we were. We found other people who had the same illness that we had, who had been through the same exact experiences that we had been through. They had recovered. If they could do it, we could do it. Was hope born in me the day that I walked in AA? Meditation for the day. He that heareth these things and doeth them is like unto a man who built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. When your life is built upon obedience to God, and upon doing His will as you understand it, you will be steadfast and unmovable, even in the midst of the storms. The serene, steadfast, unmovable life, the rock home, is laid stone by stone, foundation, walls, and roof, by acts of obedience to the heavenly vision. The daily following of God's guidance and the daily doing of His will shall build your house upon a rock. Prayer for the day. I pray that my life may be founded upon the rock of faith. I pray that I may be obedient to the heavenly vision. Daily Reflection, June 12th. Forming true partnerships. But it is from our twisted relations with family, friends, and society at large that many of us have suffered the most. We've been especially stupid and stubborn about them. The primary fact that we fail to recognize is our total inability to form a true partnership with another human being. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 53. Can these words apply to me? Am I still unable to form a true partnership with another human being? What a terrible handicap that would be for me to carry into my sober life. In my sobriety, I will meditate and pray to discover how I may be a trusted friend and companion. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. And my goodness, those last two readings really hit hard. Talking about being a trusted friend. Man. You know, I think of my life, and I've always heard that people are in your life for a season, for a reason, or they're there for a lifetime. And at least for me, the shining qualities I see in a friend is that I can trust them to keep things confidential, and also I know in my heart that they want what's best for me, and that they will pray and walk me through whatever situation I might be going through. And I am very blessed, because I can think of at least 3 or 4 guys, maybe more, just right off the top of my head, of guys I could go to at any time. And the beautiful thing is, some of them are outside the fellowship, but most of them are from inside the fellowship. Because we're all just trying to get better. We're all in this lifeboat, right? So I say all that to say this: that's the kind of friend that I want to be. And I know that Fred Rogers, I quote him all the time, but I want to say he said, one of the greatest ways we can tell somebody we love them is by giving them the gift of listening, to really honing in on what they're saying without judgment or rancor or resentment or anything like that. That's the kind of friend I want to be. A shining quality that my wife has, man, is, and I think I said this just recently, is she is solid and she is a rock and loyal to the one she loves. That's how I want to be. That's the kind of friend I want to be. And I am very blessed to say that I've got friends like that in my life that have been that way for me. Now, when I was a kid, buddy, I surrounded myself with negative people, and I would try to change who I was to kind of fit in with the group. I tried that, and it never worked. And guess what? Even when I tried to put that mask on, people still didn't like me. So now I try to take the mask off and just be me. And real quick, funny stories. Sorry, this is slightly off topic, but, I think of my dad a lot. And I remember when I was a kid, or probably preteen or whatever, my dad would wear sweatpants everywhere. And for whatever reason, as a kid, I would go, "Dad, why are you wearing those, man? Aren't you afraid people are going to judge you?" Or I don't even know. I don't know why it bothered me so much. Maybe I was embarrassed that he was wearing sweatpants wherever he went. And he looked me in the eye, and I'll never forget this. He said, "Son, the older you get, the less and less you care about what people think of you." Now, when I was drinking, I still cared so much about what people thought. However, on the other side of the steps, I'm beginning to just be okay with me. That I am no better or any worse than anybody else. That's pretty crazy, right? And as I say this as a budding 40-year-old, my dad was right. Sure, I do care still. I want to be kind for others. I want to carry the message of AA to everybody around me, whether directly or indirectly. But if somebody doesn't like me, it doesn't affect me the way it used to. And I give all that glory to my higher power. And speaking of which, that 24 hours a day, talking about building a foundation on the rock, there was some very practical suggestions right there in the middle of the meditation. Let me see. When your life is built upon obedience to God and upon doing His will as you understand it, you will be steadfast and unmovable even in the midst of the storms. So it doesn't say if a storm comes. It says you'll be unmovable even in the midst of the storms. So the storms are coming. Am I ready, Rob? I love this. The serene, steadfast, unmovable life. The rock home is laid how? Stone by stone. That tells me that it doesn't happen instantly. It happens deliberately. One stone at a time. One step at a time, right? Foundation, walls, and roof. By acts of obedience to the heavenly vision. So in other words, for me, trying to figure out what the will is of my higher power and having the willingness and the strength to carry it out. And I'll be honest with you, there's been times where I was a little nervous to do anything that I thought my higher power would want me to do. Because I thought, oh gosh, is he going to be sending me to be a missionary in, I don't know, Cambodia or something like that? I was afraid that, my ego used fear to paralyze me from listening to my higher power. But I've noticed that in my experience, there are more gentle nudges in the circle that I'm in. How can I love and serve my meowing cat more right by the door? How can I love and serve my wife and my children? And how can I be of service to this podcast and my friends in recovery and just my friends in general? And every now and then I'll get that gentle nudge. Hey, you haven't talked to so-and-so in a while. Why don't you call them, or why don't you send them a text? Hey, see that lady over there in the gas station? She looks to be really struggling. Why don't you try to help her? That situational awareness. How can I be of service today? Little things like that, right? The daily following of God's guidance and the daily doing of His will shall build your house upon a rock. And when they say daily, that tells me this is a lifetime process. But the more and more we put in the reps, the more and more peace and serenity as a byproduct of putting in the reps, we tend to gain. It's crazy. And last thing I'll say, and I'll hush, I promise, is I had a meeting last night, and there was a lady there. I won't break her anonymity, but she had 33 years. And she's crying, talking about how much of a miracle sobriety is. And how after 33 years going on one day at a time, how exciting it still is. And when she tells her friends she still goes to meetings, her friends outside of AA, they're like, why? Why do you still go back? You're cured, right? And she says, because I'm always learning something, and it's always exciting. That gives me a lot of hope. That, this stuff does not get old. It just gets better and better and better. Life doesn't get easier. But somehow, in sobriety, it can still be richer. Because we're growing. Spiritually, it's awesome. And then somebody else had shared, they had a son that was nonverbal for a long time. And then eventually started speaking in paragraphs. And one of the little sayings that one of the earliest sayings that the son would say is a sweet little rhyme. Blue skies, white clouds, green trees. Thank you, God, for all of these. There's some wisdom in that little saying right there. I got a lot to thank my higher power for today, including those birds chirping here at 6 a.m. But my friends, I hope you all have a great one today, and if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.